norms, perspectives, and practices. Students have been challenged to suspend judgment, to listen attentively, to avoid exercising censorship, to reflect and communicate, integrate new knowledge, and reach a consensus on an effective and practical plan of action. As students, all of you have kept an open mind on the potential of globalization. Your professors have challenged you to question established ideas, and quite honestly, we've admired your challenges to us, to enlighten you on the limitations as well as the applications of theory. Today, managers must work across business functions in teams to achieve their goals. Teachers and students must also work in a multidisciplinary fashion to integrate concepts and constructs in very diverse contexts. You've met this challenge. You've brought things together in capstone courses and original consultancy projects and passed the final exams. You've adopted new technologies, from laptops to cell phones, new ways of thinking and working without skipping a beat. But now, how would you deal with the challenges of globalization? We expect no less from you than to be effective communicators, ethical decision makers, and respected, authentic leaders. Leaders who are learning and modeling continuously how to collaborate as well as to compete, how to lead as well as to follow, how to innovate as well as to conserve, and how to contribute as well as to benefit. For most of you here today, your journey at UNYT ends as you march out of this ceremony. In that brief walk, it's going to be quite natural to think about the life ahead. I know that your thoughts are already focused to the extent that your minds can focus after your activities celebrating last night. You're focused on simply getting out of here, as if you had been prisoners at UNYT. It may surprise you, but I, and I'm sure many of my colleagues, many of us, can relate to that feeling of liberation. Some 40 years ago, about this time of year, I recall crossing the campus of my alma mater with only one thought in mind: that this was going to be the last stupid final examination that I would ever take for the rest of my life. And it was. Okay. So I know your feeling, right? The relief of being done, the excitement of experiencing life now without having to worry about what part of it is going to be on the final examination. Be happy. Enjoy it. Celebrate. You've earned it, and your family and friends who shared the sacrifices of these years well deserve it. But, there's always a but. Be aware that the final exam will never be your last ultimate test. Because fortunately or unfortunately, for better or for worse, all life is one big test, just as all life is one big learning curriculum. Again and again, you'll have to apply your critical thinking skills, suspend your beliefs, unleash your imagination, listen, understand, and meet the arguments of others to unravel the paradoxes of the world. It will be like a case study again, a class discussion, a group project, or a team presentation. An intellectual exercise in thinking and clarifying your ideas. but the risks and the stakes will be higher, and you'll have to define and defend your position. You'll have to make a commitment. You have to stand up, as philosopher Morton Adler said, and meet the responsibility of making up your own mind. So as you look to the future, enjoy and cultivate the possibilities for complex reflection. Avoid the temptation of irresponsible indecision, the paralysis of analysis, and take a stand for active engagement. Your interest in the bigger world around us and how to make an impact on it is reassuring to all of us who are conscious that we're handing over a planet desperately in need of some fresh ideas. What can you do? How can you help? How can you align social intelligence and integrative thinking with a successful career? Writer F. Scott Fitzgerald said, "The ability to hold two opposing ideas in mind at the same time and still retain the capacity to function is the mark of a truly intelligent individual." If we look just recently at the news that's new every day, the Dean told us, inflation in the prices of petroleum and fossil fuels are affecting us all at the pump. Increases in basic food costs have led to demonstrations, strikes, and riots in Egypt, Tunisia, and elsewhere. Refugee crises have left 5.5 million homeless people in China. China has mobilized its awesome economic engine, investment and priorities to produce low-cost relocation homes for only $460. A week before China in May, Cyclone Nargis hit Myanmar, affecting more than 2.5 million people with potential disease outbreaks and starvation. With lessons learned from the 2004 Asian tsunami, aid agencies set up distribution hubs and relief clusters based on the organizational efficiency models of courier companies like UPS or DHL. Okay? While the government was trying to control and claim credit for the flow of aid. Once again, business and industry have shown they have the resources, financial, managerial, and technical, to be both socially and environmentally responsible. They only need one thing: your leadership. So, have you considered let me just ask, have you considered sustainable development? Okay. It's concerned with global pandemics, climate change, equitable employment, hunger, poverty, okay, natural resources and disasters, urban violence. Just a couple of facts. Today, over 1 billion people are living on less than $1 a day. And life expectancy in 9 African countries is less than 40 years. In your lifetime, the world population will reach 8 billion. How are we going to feed them? And our actions, like loading the atmosphere with carbon dioxide, may well compromise the well-being of future generations and of our planet. Okay? Let me go back to the examples of innovative logistics in disaster relief. They illustrate that social problems today are increasingly large and complex, requiring more creativity and entrepreneurship than ever before. A recent research study indicates that creativity derives from inner motivation. That is, people have their best days and do their best work when they're allowed to take risks and make progress. Another research study on happiness confirms that we are happier when we give to others or do good to society. This suggests that companies have happier employees if they offer creative ways to spend bonuses by involvement in philanthropic or charitable donation programs. Right? Companies today are encouraging community service initiatives or other means of constructive and satisfying giving. Okay? Where to look? Take a look at the United Nations Millennium Development Goals, or the One Laptop Per Child, the $100 computer project launched at the World Economic Forum, or the Grameen Bank Intel Partnership, microloans for information. There are plenty of ideas of what one could do. I'd like to strongly urge you, dear graduates, to consider how you can make the goals of sustainable development part of the goals of your own personal sustainable development. Have a wonderful life, dear graduates. Take care of each other and of our planet. Be careful as you celebrate tonight, because I understand there are some plans to celebrate. Okay. And then, for the rest of your lives, work hard and share with others. Remember to laugh often and honor your values. I thank you. Congratulations, class of 2008.
Thank you, Dr. Dufault. Representing the master's degree candidates of 2008 is the class valedictorian, Ms. Velita Manca. Ms. Manca graduates today with a master's in business administration. She already holds a bachelor's degree in law from the University of Tirana, and she's a procurement analyst at the World Bank office in Tirana. We're proud to introduce Ms. Velita Manca.
Mirëmbrëma të tërëve, do doja që këtë fjalë përshëndetje t'ja drejtoja në Shqip, të tërë familjarëve, miqve, shokëve, studentëve. Megjithatë do ta bëj në anglisht për efekt protokolli. Distinguished guests, professors, students, colleagues, MBA co-sufferers, good afternoon or good evening. I'm thrilled to talk on your behalf about our joint achievement tonight. Yes, guys, we made it. It is an honor and privilege for me to be part of this special class. We have gathered here this evening to celebrate the completion of an exciting chapter in our lives. Our MBA graduates group represents the new generation of professionals who see education not only as an ornament, but as a tool for the development of a country. What made this MBA program so wonderful? We got to know new people, interact on one-to-one basis with university staff who calls us by first name. And more importantly, we benefited from an excellent learning environment. The IUKB MBA program has provided us with a new way of thinking, a new set of skills, and the ability to work successfully in teams. Qualities which we will take with us and apply in our future challenges. This year and a half will be preserved in our memories. This year and a half will be preserved in our memories. This year and a half will be preserved in our memories as among the best. During this time, our knowledge was enhanced, but most importantly, our friendship was expanded. We will remember with great nostalgia the cold Friday afternoons in winter, the hot summer weekends which we had to spend in the university auditorium, the simulation exercise of the marketing class, which we took so seriously, and above all, the lack of punctuality